Hi guys, how are we all doing? I hope you're fine. So today, in this video, I'm just going to be talking about something real quick. Um, I'm going to be talking about chargebacks, like chargeback disputes. So we all know that, if you're a business owner like me, a small business owner who obviously depends on credit card companies to collect, um, to receive payment for products, then I'm sure you must have encountered something like this, like chargeback disputes and all. So I'm going to be coming up with a couple of videos over the next few weeks where I would be highlighting, the different aspects of chargebacks. So for those who don't know what a chargeback is basically a forced, sorry, sometimes I might be reading off, my notebook because obviously I might not be able to remember some points. So I'm not trying to miss anything. So a chargeback is basically defined as a forced transaction reversal or the return of funds used to make a purchase to the buyer. So if, say for instance, someone goes on your website and purchases a product, when they receive it, or sometimes they don't, it all depends on the different scenarios, but I will dive into quite a couple of them later on in the video. So if someone goes onto your website, purchases a product, they later on call their banks for reasons best known to them. They call their banks and they're like, oh look, this product, I didn't receive it, or I don't like it, or whatever the case might be. Could you please you know return the funds to my account? And most times the banks will do that because they feel like they've got an allegiance to their customer, obviously. So they return this funds obviously to the customer, and you, the small business owner, you know at a loss basically, because that money has left your account. And sometimes this chargebacks might even come like some 4 to 5 6 weeks later after this purchase has been made. So it's very detrimental, to be honest, to small business owners. So this is why I've taken it upon myself to make this video, because when I first started using Shopify, which was over 5 years ago, um, I did experience a lot of financial loss, in the sense that I had like all the chargebacks I had like over the last 2 3 years, like when I first started using Shopify. I lost all of them. And I used to think to myself, like sometimes when I lose this chargebacks, I would literally, sometimes I cry because I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Because clearly you've seen this person has come to your website, they've clearly scammed you, right? And the banks decide in their favor. So later on, I had to really dive in and, do a bit of research just to know why this was occurring. And I did find out that I wasn't submitting the right evidence. So with each chargeback, you've got different types of evidence, obviously, that you should, you know, give to your, whatever platform you're using. So on Shopify, they've got this section where you can upload all your evidence and or whatnot. So I did realize that, I wasn't submitting the right evidence. And the way I see chargebacks as, someone's taking you to court basically. You're not going to go to court without preparing and bringing the right evidence, would you? So that's the way I look at chargeback. So if you get a chargeback, you need to, you don't need to be in a rush. You have to gather all your documents, because you're not seeing this judge. Unfortunately, it's not like in court where you go, you see the judge, you present your case. This is like done without you being there. So you don't give them any room to decide against you, if that makes sense. So you have to produce all the right documents. So I'm going to be sharing with you 3 types of chargebacks that I've experienced, and I know that those are the most common ones. So the first one I'm going to be talking about is a fraudulent transaction. So this one, to be honest, is like, honestly, out of, say for instance, 10 chargebacks I've had like in the last maybe year or two, fraudulent has to be like 8. Like literally, this is like the most common one. And for me, I feel like this is actually the easiest to win, because you can imagine someone purchasing on your website, it's actually them, but they've gone on to say it's not them. So you're going to gather all the evidence obviously, to show and disprove that yes, you actually did go on my website to scam me. Like, yes. So this is actually one of the easiest. So I will be listing out the sort of evidence or documents you're going to be gathering together to obviously send to your to the bank obviously. So yeah, the first one will be the shipping tracking information. So you need to make sure that you're using what's it called, a courier company, which allows you to track your parcels, say for instance DHL, FedEx, or UPS. So make sure there is a tracking information. Make sure that you actually state that you want them to sign for it. That's also essential, because this is one of the most important things. Like, if you've got no tracking information, then there's no way to prove that you sent it, right? So you do need to do that. Then the second one is you actually need to ship to the same um, billing and delivery address. So make sure that on your platform, whichever supplier you're using or provider you're using, make sure that you've got the section where it says ship to the same billing and what's it called, delivery address. For me, I tend to not do this a lot anymore, because most of the people that come onto my website now are mainly return visitors, so I'm already used to them. We've got a rapport now. But if it's like a new person, then yeah, there are extra steps or extra things that I do, which I'm going to talk about pretty soon. Yeah, so the second one would be quality not as described. That's the second one. That one is a very, very tricky one, because it's that person's word against yours. So if you really did send it and you've got no way to, if you really did send the right product, and some people are just really, really fussy, they will do anything just to get their money back, and whatever you do, you just can never please them, if that makes sense. So this one is really tricky. So what I do in this scenario, once I receive an email saying, oh, I'm not quite pleased with what you gave me or what you sold to me, the first thing I do is I just apologize, and I try to really be nice. I'm like, oh, I do apologize. I'm sorry this hasn't met your expectations on this occasion, but if you don't mind, could you send me pictures, like different angles of your product? So you should actually send me the front one, the side, the two sides, and from the back. So in their minds, they think that I'm just literally just being nice and trying to get them to send pictures, but that's the evidence right there. So make sure you and I don't go off, like, don't get upset and be like, oh no, that's going to ruin every freaking thing. You shouldn't do that, to be honest. So once you get that, make sure that you take the pictures on your website and the ones that they've actually sent, and put it together, like compare the two of them. You need to, like when you've got those apps called like Photogrid, and one of them, all those apps that kind of put like a side by side comparison, do that. So take the picture from your website, put it next to the one that they've sent you. That's the key right there. Honestly, no one really talks about this, but for me, this is how I win this exact chargeback reason. Do you get me? So when you have that, then make sure you put the side by side picture comparisons, and also, when you're submitting that evidence, make sure you list out everything that you've described on your website for this particular product. So once you do that, you just send it, and yeah, that's a clear case win, because the person who is going to be reviewing the case will obviously see that this product actually do look the same. So why is this person complaining? Do you get me? So yeah, so the third one is product not received. This one sometimes can be a bit tricky, because it could really genuinely be that this person did not receive it, because I've had like a couple of people who this has happened to, because obviously sometimes with DHL, FedEx, they do actually lose parcels. So this one is, I just leave it as however you want to deal with this case is all up to you. Is at your discretion. If you feel like, okay, yeah, this is honestly a genuine case of loss or damage or whatever, you just replace it. Sometimes, I've replaced quite a couple of orders, and for me, I just felt like, this person didn't receive it, and I know for me as a consumer as well, if I place a product and I don't receive it, I'm not going to be happy. Do you get me? So for me, I just see it as, yeah, I just replace it, to be honest. So this one is quite tricky. No one's going to tell you how to deal with this one. But yeah, so yeah, the third thing I'm going to discuss about, this chargeback today would be things to ensure you don't get a chargeback, because the last thing you want as a small business owner is dealing with chargeback. So before it comes, we need to nip it in the bud, guys. We need to nip it in the bud. So the first thing that I do is I have my policies in place. So because I deal in wigs, all our products are custom made. So what that means is it's made to order. So when you go on the website, the wig is not there waiting to be shipped. No. So as soon as we get the payment, we begin to produce. So on my website, we've seen, like, when you go on my website, you see, like, on the banner, the front banner, you see, oh, no returns, sales is final. So make sure that you have that, like, written everywhere on your website. So you've got, like, the front banner, make sure it's there. Under your product description, make sure it's there. Just put it everywhere so that no one knows. Sorry, I've got a call coming in. Yeah, so no one knows, no one can actually say, or they didn't say it. Even in the order confirmation email as well, just make sure it's there. Make sure they have it everywhere. They can literally see that you don't offer no return. So for me, I always say no returns policy, no refunds policy, sales is final. So yeah, if that's actually what your business deals in, you can't do the same as well. But if you have a business where you do offer exchanges and returns, and you could say something like returns, you've got like 7 to 10 working days to return. Just make sure that everything is clear and concise so that they actually see everything and not deny it. Do you understand? So yeah, so ensure that yeah, so that's basically it. Then number two, make sure you have a terms and conditions box. What that means is right under, the part where you're trying to check out, right? Where the end of, I don't know how to describe this, but yeah, I will, maybe in another video, I'll probably have to put up something, in different areas. But for now, so like when you're checking out, make sure they tick it off, because that's what would help protect your business. So make sure they tick off that box that says, yeah, I have read your terms and conditions. I've seen what you're saying to me. I've seen all your policies, blah, 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 that. Do you know what I mean? So make sure you've got that. If you're using Shopify, you can actually, there's, in the App Store, right? You can actually download, what's it called again? You can actually download terms and conditions. So with that terms and conditions, it just attaches straight to your website. So number three is make sure you verify all orders. Like on my website now, if you go on the front page, the home page is actually an order confirmation box where people, once you purchase, you have to verify your order. So you purchasing is just the first step. The second step is you need to verify your order. What that means is you need to go onto a website, answer a few questions saying that, yeah, you did purchase this product, you put in the last 4 digits of your card, you upload your ID. Like, girl, we need to protect our businesses, man. Like, we can't have people stealing from us in this day and age. So yeah, I know some people might feel like it's a bit extreme, but for me, I feel like the girl's just got to do what she's got to do. Do you understand? So if there's some people that might actually say, no, I can't do it. I've got a few people who turn it down and say, no, I can't do it. This looks like a scam. Oh, well and good. I'm going to cancel your order. And, yeah, I'm not here to, because I've really had so many losses, honestly, the last 2-3 years before I now really put all these things in place. I really lost a lot of money, and I'm not trying to lose any more money. So yeah, make sure you verify all your orders. Then ensure that your product descriptions are listed out properly and clearly. Like I said, verify all orders and ship all items with tracked and signed. Then yeah, ensure all orders have same shipping and billing address, which we've covered. Then number 4, another section, which is obviously the documents to provide. So it's basically the same thing, like all the documents I've listed out. That's literally what you're going to be providing, obviously, when you want to submit your evidence. Then the last thing that no one talks about is a rebuttal letter. Like, I cannot stress this enough. Most people don't know there is a section after you've uploaded all the documents I've just listed out. There is a section, the last bit, so this last bit is called a rebuttal letter. What this letter is basically is you stating your case to that person who's not seeing you. So you've got to state your case in a way that that person feels your pain. Like when this person reads your story, they're like, no way am I going to rule against this person. So this letter is like, it's like telling this person that, look, this is not right. Why is this person going to do this to me? So in my rebuttal letter, I go really, some people think, oh yeah, that might be too much, but I go really, really deep, like in the sense that I talk about the fact that I'm a small business owner, my products are custom made, you know, so it takes a lot of time. I put in a lot of effort, you know, I put in a lot of resources into making sure this wigs come out right. You know, the money I spend, I need to pay my braiders, I need to do this, I need to do that. So putting all this into consideration, putting in all this in a one, like it could be like maybe even 50 words or 100 words. Make sure it's not too long so you don't bore the person, obviously, but just make sure that you're hitting those points so that when this person sees it, they're like, I'm not going to sleep all at night if I don't rule in her favor. Do you understand? So this rebuttal letter is basically what states your case and helps the person reviewing the chargeback rule in your favor. Talk about the fact that your order is made to order, that your products are made to order, your refunds. You can actually even refer to your refunds policy where you say that it's custom made, you made to order, you know, no returns, or if you've got returns policy, you can say it's 7 to 10 working days. Maybe they didn't, you know, maybe the fact that they didn't send the products back in within the time frame that you already gave on your website. So yeah, these are the things to actually you know, talk about. But this is, I mean, I think I've gone up to like 18 minutes now, and I don't want it to be too long. But I'm going to try to do this like every other week or every week. And yeah, but if you need more information, you can actually just click the I'm going to put the link to an ebook which I created, so that there's a lot more information about what I've covered. And also, if you need extra support, like if you're struggling and you feel like, oh yeah, I do need some more help, I'm also going to put in my WhatsApp number and my email address. You can always reach out to me, and I do offer one-to-one mentorship. But thank you so much, guys, and I hope that this video was really valuable and informative and useful. I'm just trying to help as many people as possible, because as small business owners, we can't afford to, you know, be careless with our businesses. Do you understand? We have to protect our businesses from all the scammers that are trying to steal from us. So please, if you did enjoy this video, if you learned something, and if you'd like me to continue to create more content like this, just give me a thumbs up and also a subscribe. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Bye.